Again, thought I wouldn't feel anything, and I'm having all these feels.
Yeah.
And so she goes, well, you'll feel a lot better as soon as I put your uterus back in. When I got pregnant, I found out I was like really early, like 6 weeks pregnant. My mom and brother found out like that first ultrasound. My mom called while I'm like in the car going there. What are you doing? I can't lie. So I'm like, going to the clinic. I might be pregnant. And she's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
What? She was so overjoyed. Oh my gosh.
Of course.
But then she was like, all right, let me not get too excited.
Aww.
And then at the same time, my brother was calling. Like, it's just crazy how connected we are. And so I told him the same thing. So like everyone's freaking out. The pregnancy was awesome. For the most part, the first trimester was disgusting. You know, like many women experience, pretty sickening. And then it was sweet from then. It was going really well. I felt like I was taking good care of my body. I was still exercising. I was walking like 3 to 5 miles a day. It was crazy. It was great. We hired a doula because like Khadijah, I wanted to try to do it naturally as possible, just like listening to my body and just, you know, being one with the experience. And she was a great like sense of support from the very beginning. Week 35, one of my lab results came back a little bit abnormal. There's a condition called cholestasis of pregnancy, and basically it relates to like your liver function and the way liver and kidney function, how your body is like flushing out toxins and things like that. On the most basic level, my blood acidity was too high. So it was causing different symptoms in my body. Like I was itching a lot more than normal. Sometimes my urine was a little bit funky. I was having like some pains. All those things considered, my doctor thought that I might have this condition. So the danger with it is that it can be fatal to the baby. Basically, your baby can be completely fine and then tomorrow it could be dead. Like at the time, as I was like preparing to be a mom and whatnot, I said earlier, I watched a bunch of YouTube videos. The other thing I did was I listened to birth stories like on repeat through this podcast called The Birth Hour. So I remembered earlier I listened to this podcast from this woman. She suffered a loss. She lost her baby full term. It wasn't determined it was cholestasis, but during her second pregnancy, she was diagnosed with cholestasis and had an emergency C-section. So she believes the first pregnancy. Yeah, just because like her symptoms and stuff. And I just remember listening to that birth story and just feeling like so sad for her because like her baby was fine. And then she noticed like she stopped feeling so much movement, and then she was just like had like this extreme sad, and then her due date came and nothing was happening, and then when she went to the hospital, she found out like, you know, her baby wasn't living anymore. It was just really like just heartbreaking because she still had to deliver the baby. When I first got the test results, I was just like, oh, okay. She's like, yeah, we're gonna retest and whatnot. We go home, and then on the ride home, I remember that birth story that I just shared, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like if this level is high, that means I could have cholestasis. If I have cholestasis, that means that our baby could die. We had another appointment the next day to do the blood draw. At that appointment, I was really adamant that I needed to talk to
the doctor.
So she came in and I just broke down and I started crying. And like, you know, I didn't really realize what you were saying until like I got home, and you know, I know what this means. And my doctor is so funny because like the whole time, like I basically interviewed her before she became my doctor. Like at our first appointment, I had all these questions for her, like her philosophy, what she think about natural births, C-section rates, everything. And so like we were with it. Like we had real conversations. It wasn't like I showed up at my appointment, you did my height and weight, asked me how I was doing, I was on my way. No,
you needed to know everything.
Needs to know everything I was experiencing. I kept like documented journal. Like we talked about her, and we had a really solid relationship. So she said, you know, I was actually really surprised like how easily you took the news yesterday. And I was just like,
wow,
really?
You ain't say nothing? You ain't tell me to come in your office real quick?
No. So then she was like, yeah, okay, so I am concerned about the levels. We're gonna do a blood draw today. You know, it's gonna take a couple days for it to come back. But in the meantime, we can just start treating you as if you have cholestasis. So like there's some medication you can take to try to bring the levels back to normal. So I said, okay. And as she's walking out the door, she goes, worst case scenario, we'll have a C-section. So I'm like,
dun, dun, dun.
okay. My doctor was going on vacation when I was like 37 weeks, 2 days. The other thing I should add about cholestasis is it's most fatal after 37 weeks. So if you get the baby out before 37 weeks, there's like a higher chance of survival, but after 37 weeks, it severely plummets. My brother had flew in, and once I told them that, you know, I may have to have a C-section, it's gonna be before 37 weeks, we decided that we were gonna move forward with an induction, because the test results wouldn't come back early enough until after she was gone on vacation. And I only seen one provider, and I wasn't gonna wait until she came back from vacation. So it was just really crazy. We scheduled an induction for the day after Thanksgiving. Actually, they were supposed to call me on the night of Thanksgiving. We kind of just waited. And I remember it was like maybe midnight or so, and I'm like, you know, I'm just gonna call the hospital and see about what time I could expect for them to call. I didn't want to miss the call, like it was just all this pressure. So I called the hospital, and they're like, yeah, we don't have any scheduled inductions for tomorrow. I'm like, that's strange, like, you know, I just saw my doctor yesterday, and she said you guys would be calling me. And then began like this whole other just back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And it was just like the worst emotional roller coaster I've ever been on in my life. So basically at about 2 o'clock in the morning, we actually go to the hospital because my doctor wasn't on call, and the on-call doctor would not phone my doctor to confirm anything, or they did not handle her induction. So we go through triage, and I am just kind of over it at this point. I'm crying because I had to like pee in a cup, and I noticed that the cup was cloudy, like my urine was cloudy, which
that's another sign.
Yeah, another sign and symptom of cholestasis. So I was just like, please God, like let these people induce me. But that didn't happen. We got discharged. But before that, a nurse came up to me, and she was really kind and said she was gonna try her best to get in contact with my doctor. So I really appreciated that. But again, we went home. And then I got a phone call at about, I'm gonna say it was about 10 a.m. and it was the hospital, and they said, hey Natasha, we're ready for you. You can come in so we can start your induction.
Oh, now you're ready for me.
Now you're ready for me. After I was just here, and all you guys looked at me like
I was crazy.
So I'm like, okay, yep, finally we're getting this thing started. Get to the hospital, we bring donuts for the staff because we needed them to be Team Natasha, and they were after those donuts. So here we go, induction. So about maybe 2 hours or so after we got to the hospital, our doctor showed up, and she told us that she'd call the hospital that morning and ask how my induction was going, and they had zero information for her because I was not there. I was home. And so then I shared with her the hell we went through, the hours leading up until, you know, right now. And she was sorry. But we were there now, so we got the induction started and had no progress. I did not dilate 1 centimeter. It was so frustrating. Probably the last thing they tried, I think, was Cervidil, and the baby did not respond well to that. Her heart rate was high, and then low, and then normal, all over the place. Yeah.
She is going nuts. So this is baby here. She needs to be in the blue, and she's like all up here. 180. This one is 190.
She did not like it, and I was having contractions, just one on top of the other. So I knew things had started to change because they brought in a bag of fluids. So I know what that means. That means like you're having a cesarean.
Yep.
No one has said this to me at the moment. And I remember I actually asked the nurse, well, what is that for? And she's like, oh, it's just standard. And I'm like, yeah, okay, you're lying. If it was standard, I would have got in it like 14 hours ago.
Exactly.
But you didn't do that. Like, you put the IV in, but there was no fluid. But okay. My doctor comes back and she says,
you know, we've tried the Cytotec, we tried the Cervidil. I'm going to take that out because she wouldn't tolerate it. So our options are definitely dwindling. The likelihood of ending up with a C-section, just the way that she's responded so far, is high.
Yeah.
I will put that out there. It's high. You know that.
We were up against a timeline, right? So I was 37 weeks that day, and she had a plane to catch in about 8 hours. So my options were I could wait. She said I could wait for a couple of hours, let the baby calm down, and then they could retry again. At which point she would be on vacation. Or we could move forward with the C-section. We had a little chat.
What's in your head right now? Right now.
Just do it, get it done.
Is that the decision you will make 3 weeks from now?
Yeah,
Is that a decision you would make 3 weeks ago?
yeah, because I think it would be different if maybe we had some sort of progress. Like we're back at square one, like no contractions, checking my like I don't even think emotionally I'd be able to go like another 24 hours.
At least. And that's if baby tolerates it.
If she
Baby dips again.
and I don't know
that's
if
gone,
I can
you got breast.
tolerate her dipping again.
Yeah, and if she dips again, then breast does
Then
the-
breast does your section.
does the section.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
And decided that we were just going to move forward with a cesarean. It was the most responsible thing to do because at the moment our baby was alive and well, and we wanted to keep it that way, and this was the only way we could make sure that would happen. Literally, I could have gone home and we could have lost our baby. So that wasn't an option for us. We felt at peace with our decision. We're like, this is what we're gonna do. So got all prepped. I went into the operating room, which was scary because it is sterile and white and small and cold.
Freezing
And
cold.
I don't know, in Grey's Anatomy, the room looks so big. And like, seriously, and I was just like, I am in this box and that table looks so small. Was taken aback by that a little bit, and also the fact that my husband couldn't be in there while they were doing that epidural. Yeah, so that was interesting.
He was there for me.
Yeah,
Him and my
I
grandma.
don't know, I guess different states.
Different states, yeah.
Who knows? But yeah, they
That's
would only
weird.
allow one person. My doula actually advocated to be there because, I mean, her response was, you know,
Yeah.
everybody in that room, their intention is on delivering a healthy baby, and somebody needs to be there for the mom.
The mom.
But they weren't having that. So she wasn't there, but my husband was there. So after the epidural, I was good. We were laying there. We had our playlist ready. And yeah.
That's great.
Yeah,
That was
we had
good.
a playlist. We're like, we are setting the mood. We are changing this atmosphere. So I remember the first cut because I was ignorant to the fact that the epidural does not completely numb you. I didn't expect to feel anything. So that first cut, I'm like, I can feel that.
Wow, that feels weird.
I know, it's weird feeling the pulling, isn't it? Everything's good. You're doing fantastic.
Is it painful? And I'm like, no, but like I feel that. And I'm like, it just feels like I'm being unzipped. And they're like, yeah, like
That's normal.
that's normal. You're gonna feel things.
That's not normal. I don't want
I'm
to feel not feel any of this.
I thought I was supposed to not feel anything, but apparently I was wrong. I felt like I was being unzipped, and I was feeling tugging and pulling and different things. And then I start having this pain like in my chest, and I'm like, huh, like that's interesting. Like nothing's going on up here, you know, like they're
After
like
they got the baby out?
no, baby's not out yet.
Oh.
They're still working.
Oh, wow.
But I'm like, okay, like it feels like something's happening. So at first I ignored it, and then like it felt like it was intensifying. So I'm like, yeah, there's something going on like in my chest, like it doesn't feel good. I actually feel like I'm having a heart attack. So my doctor tells the anesthesiologist to give me something. They pump something into my IV. I remember feeling a little bit better, but I think my mental just kind of shifted because shortly after that, the doctor said, okay, like, are you guys ready? Like, ready to meet your baby? And I'm like, oh my gosh, the baby's coming.
Yeah. Can I stand? Yeah. Sure.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, take one more.
Yeah.
Here I am. sweet girl. Hey, Mama. Hey, Mama. Yeah.
Baby comes out full of vernix, cheesy everywhere. She starts crying. I start crying. And then the baby was there. So my husband goes over with the baby.
You're gonna take these scissors.
Okay.
Okay. And you're gonna go
Right there.
Yep.
Just go.
Go.
Yeah.
And then I become back aware of this pain that I'm having in my chest.
All those things are normal. Okay. All those things are normal. Coming from the shoulder blades, chest pain, all those things are normal.
Okay.
But then also now like this intense like cramping and stuff is going on. And so I just start like moaning just a little bit like. Audibly, it gets louder and louder. My doctor asked me if I'm doing okay, and I'm like, absolutely not doing okay. Don't know what's going on here.
Okay.
I'm not feeling very well.
Okay.
Again, thought I wouldn't feel anything, and I'm having all these feels.
Yeah.
And so she goes, well, you'll feel a lot better as soon as I put your uterus back in.
We're gonna put the uterus back in, and you'll feel so much better.
You want to see baby's housing? Look, that's where baby was in.
Really?
Almost 9 months. Just came out of
Oh
here.
my gosh.
Want the picture?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Thank you.
Hold on.
Alright.
Yo. That's sickening. What?
I lose it at that point.
Out
Yeah,
of your body.
out of my body. And I'm like, I just thought the only thing that was coming out was the
What?
child. And
You
then
did
after,
not
after
just
birth.
take the. She did not.
She, like,
didn't,
yeah.
She didn't say that.
So I freaked. I completely freaked out.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Kanisha's uterus is humming, but you did not.
She took
What was
my uterus
that?
out, and so I started freaking out. So
Oh my
I asked my
gosh.
husband to step away from the baby and to just come over to me.
Because you needed
And
that.
I needed him, and he put on my favorite praise and worship song, and he just literally like had the phone to my ear, and I just kind of like let myself like lull away until the procedure was finished. The next couple of hours were just terrible because I was severely thirsty because I was taking off fluids before the procedure. I kept sneaking something to drink, but every time I would drink something, like literally a sip of water, then I would vomit, and then I'd be coughing, and I would vomit, and it was just like this cycle of vomiting. Like I had like spit up like the little half moon thing.
Yeah.
Like it was disgusting. Oh, so terrible. But then the baby came in, and I was just like, yep, I'm good, come here. And she nursed right away, and
Wow.
she was perfect. Yeah, it was not the birth that I expected. It's not
never the birth we expect. That is
Yeah.
scary.
it was traumatizing, and I have post-traumatic stress disorder because of that birth, and I would do it again. But at the same time, I'm like at a point right now in my life where it's just like, you know, I've been through like a lot of shit. Not to say that birth is shit, but like I've been through a lot of just different
Experiences in
trauma
life,
and
yeah.
tragedy, and I really have to focus on self-care. And that's why I'm such a huge advocate of finding ways to prioritize yourself, even if you are a mom or a girlfriend or a wife, because you matter, and mental health matters. So it is a large reason why, you know, I wanted to start this channel and to be able to connect with people so that they can talk about their experiences, not feel ashamed of those experiences, but also be supported.